I've been on suboxone for 8.5 years, and I'm sober as a motherfucking judge. What's up, you guys? My name's Nicole Pludre, and I love to talk about drugs, addiction, recovery, and so much more. Let's get into this motherfucking comment. Sassy Girl says, I just want to tell you how much you have helped me through my recovery. Going through yours with you. You know what I mean, right? Sassy Girl, I know exactly what you mean. And this is exactly why I started sharing my story all the way back in 2016. I'm going to share with you guys how I got started sharing my recovery journey on social media. I'm going to give you guys some tips and some tricks on how you can start sharing your journey and get it out there to the masses. And I hope this video helps encourage you if you are wanting to share and help others. So all the way back in 2015 when I got sober, I used to be a part of Alcoholics Anonymous and I had a sponsor. So for the first year of my sobriety, I did everything she told me to do. I did my 4-step with her. I didn't tell my story. I didn't help anybody else. I just followed her directions. And after 1 year of being sober, I went to her and I said, hey, I really want to tell my story. I want to help give back. I want to help other people. How could I do that? And what she advised me to do was to reach out to the treatment center that I graduated from and ask them if I could come back as an alumni and share my story. So that's what I did. The first time I shared my story in front of a bunch of people was at Oasis Renewal Center here in Little Rock, Arkansas, off of Cooper Orbit Road in Little Rock, Arkansas. Oasis Renewal. As I shared my story, I was very emotional. I shared it from the bottom of my heart. And at the end of the story, I looked out into the audience and there was men, women of all ages crying their eyes out, sobbing. And I stepped off the podium and I got in the middle of the group and I said, let's group hug. Let's all just give each other a big group hug. And I stood in the group in the middle of all these men and women who were in treatment. And I hugged and I talked to every single one of them before I left that day. And the feeling that I felt when I was able to see that my story had impacted others and made them feel like they were heard and seen, and made them feel like they were not alone, I knew that I wanted to start sharing my story with other people. I just didn't know how to go about it because I was on suboxone. And I thought, I can't go in front of the AA and share my story because they won't let me. How am I going to share my story of how medication-assisted treatment has helped save my life and get it out there to people? And that's when I decided to start telling my story on social media. See, it all started on Facebook for me. I went onto Facebook. I started sharing my story, and I'll never forget the first negative interaction I had. It almost stopped me from sharing my story altogether. I had been invited into a Facebook group, a recovery Facebook group, to share my testimony. And I guess they didn't do their due diligence or their research and didn't realize I was on suboxone. And at the end of my story, I started to share about the point where I decided to get on suboxone. And the live was ended abruptly and I was kicked out of the group. And I was devastated. I remember thinking that I'm never going to tell my story again. I'm not sober. Nobody supports me. Why tell my story if people don't believe in my recovery? And I cried and I deleted my whole Facebook account. Probably like 6 months went by and I was on YouTube watching videos, and I had found a couple of recovery content creators on YouTube. And that's when I realized, bitch, you aren't done here. And I started sharing my story on YouTube. And then I made a new Facebook and a new Instagram and a TikTok, and the rest is history. I might not have the biggest following in the world, but I have worked really hard to get the almost 200,000 people we have on this account, the 40,000 I have on my other TikTok account, the 16,000 I have on Instagram, the 3,000 I have on my YouTube channel, and the 62,000 I have on Facebook. I worked really hard. And I was uploading consistently every single day, and I still do. I upload at least 3 to 5 videos a day on multiple platforms. I make sure that I reach out to other creators to collaborate and network with them as well. And I let people know I'm interested. I would love to share my story. Anybody can reach out to me and message me, and I will come and share my story on their platform. It doesn't matter if they have 1 follower or 1 million followers. I treat all of my opportunities the same way because I'm grateful to be able to share my story. Those are some tips and tricks that I have for you guys if you're wanting to share your story. Stay consistent. Consistently upload. Number 2, don't get discouraged. There's going to be people who are going to have negative things to say about you, but you have to share your story and it'll get out to your crew. Okay? The people who are meant to hear your story will be the people who gravitate towards you and start supporting you. Never, ever, ever listen to what people say when they tell you that you're not worthy of being paid for your stories and for your time. That's one thing I had to learn the hard way. I was giving away so much of my time for free, and you deserve compensation. So keep that in mind as well. But yeah, that's how I got started, and that's how I continue. I continue, like I said, networking. I continue uploading multiple times a day. I continue interacting with my supporters and letting them know how much I appreciate them. And that has really brought me a long way on social media. And it will continue to take me a long way as long as I stay authentic and genuine to my beliefs. And that's what I plan on doing. So I just want you to know that sharing my story with you, sassy girl, has helped me stay sober. And that's why I do it, because it also helps me, not just you. If you enjoy my content and you want to support me, I would love for you guys to check out my series. I have a series on suboxone. I have a series on my life after meth addiction. I have a series about when I lost custody of my son. And I also have a series on how I helped my husband get sober in 2020. All of the series are right here linked. I put them for you so they're easy to find. Check those out if you guys are willing to support me. I love you guys so much. Give this video a like, comment, and a share, because that's a free way you can support me. Did you know that? Just by commenting, and sharing this video, it helps me to get my message out to more and more people. So if you can't buy my series, you can do those 3 things: like, commenting, and sharing. Love y'all.